Okay, what do we got here? Fourth position. Troop transport, deado devices, and wind traps. Wind traps is kind of a beastie card. Cards are pretty boring. Armand could grab the freighter fleet. And these are nothing special. Fourth position, I don't know how I feel about fourth position beasts, to be honest. All of these, to be honest, are very early turn leaders. I think we probably just go Armand here, because there's really nothing great going on, but you can at least ring the freighter fleet. So let's do Armand. Like, I'm not comfortable with Hundro in fourth position. Yuna's bad in fourth position, just outright. Romber is okay, but the techs are nothing special. Unless we want to go all in on combats and do, like, Wind Traps Deado, I'm not comfortable doing that. Ariana, well, she wants there to be good Talaxuro cards, and those aren't here either, so... Yeah, I don't know. I would have I would have picked Ilbon if he was available. Would have picked Leto. Would have picked Baron. But feeling all those things, I'll go with Old Faithful here. Yuna goes to third here. I'm expecting to see Beast and Hundro as the last two. No one's going to want to play Ariana or Romber as much as I like him when these two are available. Unfortunately, these are three of the best leaders for getting a Swordmaster. We should probably expect that we're not getting Swordmaster until like round 4, because Yuna's going to beat us to it, Hundro's going to beat us to it, and Beast is going to beat us to it. Now Beast might not if he goes for like High Council or something, or if he doesn't follow a Swordmaster rush path, but these two are almost always going to do that. So we're going to have basically a strategy that doesn't rely on having a Swordmaster round 2, because that's not happening. But, okay, he actually goes Romber, so that's good. It means that one of those two leaders is not going to be in play. And we may want to detonate this, too. Like, this row is really nothing special. I mean, sure, if we have a ring, we freighter fleet, but if we end up with, like, a 5 persuasion hand, we're definitely blowing this to shreds. We have a very high persuasion hand, and also our ring. Interesting. Well, there's no Wealth Mintat available because we don't have faction. But that's fine. We're still getting the trash because, again, we don't have faction. Let's turn the volume up a little bit. I feel like I can't hear the game. Go to 15. So, first action Wealth from base is a little bit odd. There's a smuggling bump on the combat, but we can't access Hardy, and we can't access smuggling, so I don't see any reason to think that we should care about it. I mean, maybe if we can get the 2 spice for a Conspire visit, then we would care. Our next hand is going to be very low persuasion, at least 3 cards with 0 persuasion on it. Double faction, city access. No yellow, importantly. So if we do end up getting smuggling, we're not going to be able to follow that up. Although with Yuna sitting in front of us, I think that's pretty much, you know, out of consideration anyway. 7. So I think we want a Signet Ring, grab Freighter Fleet, and then, like, detonate early-ish to try to find... I don't know. We could also go Arakeen here. Mix up the hand a little bit. Try to keep our persuasion high-ish. Okay, she lets me have smuggling. So I think we go smuggling Arakeen. Arakeen will hypothetically give us access to more yellow next round. So that's going to be my goal here. I don't know why smuggling went to 4th position, but I'm not going to question it. So now if we win the combat, we actually have like something good that we can do with that. Double Convincings means that at a minimum we're going to have 5 persuasion. But we probably don't want to detonate here, because if we detonate and we reveal a nice 5 like a TM or something, or a replacement eyes, that's gonna go to like Beast or Romper most likely. So we probably want to save the detonation. Now Beast to Carthag means we're not gonna be able to make... Oh, okay, well, I mean, he might have an ambush or something, in which case we still can't win, but only putting 2 troops means that Arakeen could be quite fruitful. I just don't see Yuna letting me have smuggling next round, but she let me have it this round. Maybe because all of her yellows in her next hand, I don't know. But if we don't get Arakeen, then we're not going to have access to smuggling regardless. But we either need to access smuggling or we need to win the combat. Romber tech negotiation, okay. So he probably has some decent persuasion. So what's Yuna got? Hardy Warriors? Do the classic double Fremen opener. She might just take Arakeen from me, because as far as I can tell, her options are basically Arakeen, Hardy. Okay, she goes Hardy. That's fine. The unfortunate thing about that means she's gonna want to go to smuggling. But if she goes smuggling next round, I can probably get smuggling round 3. The fact that she only put 3 troops in is interesting. I can hypothetically beat her if I get dagger from Arakeen, but surely she's got... Well, we're going to Arakeen anyway, so draw the card first. It is in fact a dagger. We acquire the freighter fleet. So there's a 5. It's not an amazing 5, but it's good enough. The question is, do we deploy here? Well, we can assume that Yuna probably has some daggers in hand. But even if we try and fail here... Even if we try and fail here, we still get 2 spice, which is pretty good. We still have our water because we didn't go Hardy, so then we could follow it up with like a Haga Basin or even an Imperial Basin to conspire. We know we're going to have the Conspiracy access next round. And by going Arakeen, we've given ourselves the possibility of drawing into yellow, and also added an extra yellow to the... So Beast opens with a really bad card. Face Dancer Initiate. Doing everyone else a favor. Romber's presumably going to take the Legion here. Although in his shoes, I might just detonate. Like, Legion's okay, but when it comes to the 5-costers, it's definitely on the lower end. It kind of pulls its weight like a 4-coster. Okay. But he doesn't do that either. He goes for the Persuasion. Yuna's got 5 and no daggers, so we're actually going to win the combat, shockingly. I really didn't expect that. So, given that we're winning the combat... What do we think about Slig Farmer? It's green, but we need yellow. Legion is yellow. Or, not, sorry, Legion's not yellow. Legion's green. It goes to green, which we like, but we're going to have green next round anyway. We want something that's yellow. I think we detonate and look for a good 5-coster with yellow on it. Well, you don't have yellow, but I'll take it anyway. Armand is a very potent user of Kynes because he can pick up liaisons with his ring, and he can trash out the non-Fremen stuff. So we're not going to pick up the Slig Farmer just yet. So now we're going to draw 1 card next round, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So a majority of the cards that we could pick up would be yellow. But we don't necessarily need yellow, right? Because we have... we can just do this. What we really need is Emperor, but we've already got that. I just don't think Yuna lets me get wealth. It depends on if we get wealth or not. Redrawing the Convincing. Okay. That's fine. Didn't draw the yellow, but that's okay. I think. I don't know. It's going to be tough. Romber presumably goes Fold Space here. Did he draw a double faction last round? Yes, he did. So he can't go Fold Space. So Romber goes Smuggling. So now Yuna can't go Smuggling, which is probably where I wanted her to go. Not great. What about her faction? Didn't she go double faction last round? So maybe she can't block me on Wealth? That would be extremely ideal. Yep, she had all of her faction last round. Poor Yuna. But that's the thing, is that when you pick Yuna in third position, you're kind of putting yourself at the mercy of these things. Go. We've already got our Emperor point thanks to Kynes, and things are looking very good. Beast queuing up a conspiracy. Does he have the faction? I would assume he does. Yeah, he has the diplomacy in hand. So he's going to be conspiring, I would assume. Or maybe he's going to go to Dreadnought and buy Ditto. That would be the Giga Chad play, but I'm assuming that's not what's about to happen. Okay. What just happened? Signet Ring to Haga Basin. Acquires troop transports and deploys to... my opponents are making some strange moves. I feel like... I'm still at Master, but I feel like... I don't know. In any case, let's go ahead and pick up our Swordmaster. And then we can either play a Diplomacy to get an extra faction, or we can play Reconnaissance and get a trash. Air Keen is probably pretty awesome if I can get it. I mean, I would like to draw any of this stuff, really. Signet Ring, probably not, but the other stuff, yes, for sure. Should we try to get to the Occupation? I mean, why not, right? As it is right now, we're probably just buying a Liaison. And we could trash a Dagger from hand. We've already got Swordmaster. Oh, he's going the Ditto. Very cool. Okay, so that reveals Flagship and Snoopers. Because Romper has troop transport. So Flagship and Snoopers. So isn't it in our best interest just to go Fold Spaced? Because if we go to Arakeen, we're not going to be able to beat Yuna. We know she's got daggers. Well, she's got 1. So she's at 7. So even in our best case scenario at Arakeen, we don't beat her in the combat. So all it's really doing for us is giving us a trash on the margin. You know, maybe if we draw a card with Persuasion, we can, you know, get like a 4-coster, but like Interstar Conspiracy is not Fremen, so I don't really care. Smuggler Softer is decent, but we're not going to want it if we're not... Well, what if I went... If I went Hardy, I would guarantee the combat. That's not actually guaranteed. She's got an Intrigue card. And it would burn down my water. Which seems bad. I think I should probably save Hardy for when Beast is threatening a detonation. Nobody has 2 water, so if I went to Still Suits, I could open up Great Flat. But I think we just gotta bite the bullet and get the Fold Space, you know? Because Romber's not gonna be able to go to Fold Space next round. But maybe he will. I don't know. Okay. 3 Persuasion. You know, all else being equal, we'd probably pick up a Liaison. Although, since we didn't trash a card this round, Fideka and Death Commando could be pretty good. It's 3 Persuasion with Kynes, and the daggers are pretty significant. But if there's a full-scale assault up for grabs, then I'm probably better off picking up a Liaison to afford it. What about Shadow Mapes? Because that's a faction that does go to Fremen. I think it's probably a little better than a liaison here. And the reveal effect is genuinely useful. And if I want liaisons later, I can always just grab them with the ring. It's not a big deal. This would be a very useful card for us. Very, very useful. I could have picked up Spiritual Fervor there. As Armand, that might be worth doing. It would have given me a specimen. I'm at 2, so that would have let me get Gola. But our power is kind of concentrated right now in the reveal phase. So I'm not sure how much value that would really even be. Freighter fleet on top. Yeah, I mean, that's another reason to go to full space last round, right? Because we have a freighter fleet in the deck. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're not playing Kynes, I don't think. So, like, Signet Ring to Arakeen, I guess? We know what it's going to give us. It's going to give us a freighter fleet. Signet Ring is the card that we can kind of play anywhere. The more restrictive cards are the experimentations. So maybe we just go to Imperial Basin just to do it. It's not a high priority, but there's nothing really else that we can do at the moment. Seems reasonable. If we do this, we can get these two together, which is pretty good. I don't need a Scarab right away. And as Armand, we have a little bit more flexibility when it comes to making combos happen. One spice doesn't matter a ton, but it's about the experimentation of being able to use our agents. Because, again, the card that we could draw here is kind of a dead draw, to be honest. Like, it's good, but it doesn't give us any play effect. Chris Knife is actually pretty good, too. We don't even have to get Sea Driven Mother specifically. Like, 3 Persuasion for Chris Knife would also be quite valuable. Or we could just grab the Chris Knife with the Signet Ring is probably better. So he goes to Carthag, and with 7 troops, it's going to be pretty hard for us to beat him in the combat, unless we were to go to Hardy. I don't know that I'm opposed to letting him detonate here. I don't know. I mean, if we win Terrible Purpose, if we can find a way to make it happen, we can probably just trash our freighter fleet, which I don't know how necessary that is. Okay, so that's not good. We needed to go to one of those cities. I mean, that's we didn't need to. Like, we can pop on over to tech negotiation. Snoopers or Wind Traps? I think Wind Traps is probably better at this stage in the game. And that's pretty much the only place I can take the Signet Ring, so we might as well go ahead and do it. So let's go ahead and buy the Chris Knife. Not that I necessarily think it'll be super popular with other players. And then Wind Traps. That allows us to experiment on Great Flat, which gives us more things that we can do. And hopefully it pays us back water later. Chimarchy, okay. We can also play Kynes here, worth mentioning. If we play Kynes to, like, Hardy, we're still at 4 persuasion, which means still enough to buy the Reverend Mother. But I think it's very much better to go Great Flat. Besides just giving us research, which is obviously good, it's got a lot of other benefits. Like, for example, having 5 spice, we can go back for the Chimarchy, we can go back to Conspire, then get a High Council seat. We can do a bunch of selective breeding, potentially. The Beast actually ends up revealing early here. Did he just... Okay, so he took our card. That's a bit sad. He just didn't have anywhere he could go. He could have gone to Haga Basin. Just chose not to. The tech negotiation thing kind of screwed him. So Romper ends up going to Fold Space because we didn't have the ability to. A little unfortunate. There's no way that the Dissecting Kit makes it back to me. I would like Worm Riders. I can't get Worm Riders. I'm pretty sure. Also, now that Beast is at 8, Hardy Warriors doesn't actually do the job. Which is fine. Whatever. If he wants to spend his resources detonating instead of buying a Swordmaster, that set strategy sometimes works and is really cool when it does, but usually does not. Okay, so this is important. This means that now we care a lot more about liaisons, a lot more about kinds, and a lot more about the fact that we have 2 water. Because now, Research Station is pretty good. I mean, we already had a good 8, but that's an even better 8. I still think we take the spice because we can use this on selective potentially. We have a full space, so we have relatively reasonable amount of access. Now we're going to use this research, try to increase our persuasion by trashing the dagger. We could limp a troop in and get a spice, or we could do 2 and get a spice and a water. I think at this stage in the game, the water is really valuable. But we have a wind traps, so it's kind of telling us not to do that, right? We could go Highliner Research Station, potentially. So let's do the 1 troop. So Romber can either secure the water with his daggers, or he can flex up to 6 and get the Worm Riders. What do we think about Spiritual Fervor at this point? Because right now we can get this combo. Detonates the row. Okay. So how much persuasion does he have? 4. So we can get the Embedded Agent. We don't have any BG, though, so I don't know. I mean, there is some out here. We're probably better off taking Lisan Al-Gaib, though, because... Oh, he's got 6, that's right. So there's still good... Okay, he takes the Gola, too, which is kind of a bummer. Contaminator is... Fremen, so yeah, we definitely want that. But we don't want the Industrial Espionage anymore, I don't think. Unless we reveal, like, Infiltrator or something. So, first we take Contaminator. Okay, yeah, I'll take Reflexes for sure. Now we want the Industrial Espionage, maybe. And then we'll take Lisan Al-Gaib because it is... Okay, so now there's still good 8s to get. In terms of trashing on reveal here... I don't want to trash any of this, really. I will trash a Convincing, though, because it's just worse than a Fremen card in the situation that we draw Kynes. And it can brick us up. which we're already kind of getting a little bit of bricking with the freighter fleet. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 Fremen cards already. Oh, he's got to the victor. Wow. Okay. So now I'm first. We can highliner the cloak and dagger, or we can do like selective. I don't have a good card to trash, so I think highliner makes a lot of sense here actually. And then we can follow it up with a research station. It'll also give us a water back because we have the wind traps. And we've also unlocked interstellar shipping. So there's this sort of a constellation of useful effects going on here. Which Romber will probably take interstellar shipping, but, you know, now we threaten it, basically. Also, nobody got their Swordmaster round 3, so I'm starting to flex a pretty large advantage here. Okay, Beast does now have enough Solari, he can go back and buy another Dreadnought if he wants to. If he did that, he might buy Chimerki. So he's definitely got an engine going. He's not going to be able to detonate on this combat, but he's definitely setting up for next round. He does go Interstellar. Now, it's not going to get him to 8, unless he's got something. So, I think we go Research Station next with the Reconnaissance and see where we can go from there. Could also Chris Knife to Smuggling. Problem with that is we don't actually have green for the Mentat, so there's not really a good reason to do that. Besides just enabling the freighter fleet. Only troop transports 1 in because obviously I highlinered early. The problem with detonating on round 3, while it gives you a lot of momentum, you lose the Dreadnought. So now, you know, if he didn't do that, in round 5 he would have a Dread that he could use in the combat, potentially to win. And now he has to go buy another one if he wants to be in that same spot. Okay. So Yuna has officially got to 8. It's not a guarantee that she has the green, but I think it's pretty likely, given the fact that she just played her Slig Farmer. Although here's a dagger and a signet ring and a liaison and a detecting kit and another liaison, so hard to imagine there's more green still in her hand. But basically, if there is, she had to have bought it. Let's go ahead and research station. Okay, Contaminator. So we want to play this in our last action if we can. We already have a specimen, so we should probably take a Scarab here. Unfortunately, playing the Contaminator does mean that we're not going to be able to get coordination to go off. So we want to start picking up liaisons, I think. Although we're going to have a ton of persuasion next round. We've got the reflexes online, so we should be pretty comfortable that we can get the either the directorship or the 4 humanity next round, if not a spice must flow. Now, if somebody goes still suits, we can't play the Contaminator because we don't have any water anymore. Okay, so that's a bummer. So what are we doing instead? Experimentation somewhere? Do we even want the industrial espionage? Yeah, it's good with reflexes. I guess we're probably drawing reflexes next round, though, so, like, it makes some sense. We could go back to fold space here. Or we could just, you know, experiment on Imperial Basin. Take a specimen. I think I like that better, because I want to be trashing right now. And that's really the only non-faction space available. Yes, Contaminator would have been better, and we would have taken the no trash, but at this point, I think this is better. Plus, we also trigger the Crisp Knife since we have the Contaminator in hand, so it's not like we're not making progress on factions, you know? So at 4, I think we're going to trash the reconnaissance and leave the freighter fleet in hand. At 4, I think we just pick up a liaison. But we have such good non-liaison... Well, but no, we need the green. 3 daggers from Rumber. And he gets that 1 Solari. He gets that 1 Solari. Takes the industrial espionage. Okay, interesting. Saves me from a potentially bad decision, perhaps. What do we think about Truthsayer here? She's damn good. She's green. And she goes to 2 important factions. The question is she better than a liaison? How much city do we have? Lieutenant gave us a city. I think we're okay trashing reconnaissance. Or we could just get rid of the freighter fleet, because it is kind of a dead card. But Truthsayer's out there, so why not pick up a Truthsayer that we can use with the freighter fleet? And, like, Naked Imperial Basin is not, you know, the most productive possible thing we could be doing, but it's okay. Like, research is research, you know? Sometimes you just gotta play your experimentation. Stage incident and illicit dealings. Faction to gain with. We kind of need some Solari right now, so let's go take Guild. Those are 2 very strong cards. I'm glad I highlighted there. Everyone's got 1 water, so Haga Basin's going to be in demand. Right now we have 8. Mapes is another 3. So again, without too much effort, we should be able to get Chome, For Humanity, Power Play, these types of things. So Haga Basin actually goes first action, which is kind of interesting. Station Sense very strong. Only problem with it is that we don't have our garrison built up. So Romber takes a day off of Interstellar to go Swordmaster. I think that's a mistake. Nobody else was gonna be able to threaten that. You know, like, yeah, no, like, Beast could not possibly get Swordmaster. So Romber would have been better off just going Interstellar. He would be confident that it would still be there for him. If somebody had taken Voice, then that would make some sense. But nobody had voiced, so I think it was the wrong play. Okay, so illicit dealings. Let's see what we get. Machine culture. So that's interesting. I think what that's telling me. I think what that's telling me is that I want to go up to get the tech. So 12 persuasion. It's pretty good. So he pays Spice to bypass the power play. Honestly, pretty good move. It's on top of his deck, so he doesn't have access to it at the moment. But if he had gone to like Arakeen, well, he wouldn't want to because he wouldn't have any agents left over. But he's basically going for his Deado again. I don't remember how he got us their Dreadnought, but he must have gone to Dreadnought in space. We take him to 6 points if he wins the combat. But I don't think I can stop him. So we want to go to Still Suits with Contaminator for sure, because that's going to give us 2 Spice and probably give us access to the second Talaxu point eventually. I guess we have Mapes. We could put a troop in and then just pull it out if things go badly. And it goes Wealth. Okay. We do run the risk that unit detonates the row on us. Yeah, we're doing well enough. I don't think I need to be too worried about Beast. What's our next move? Could go back to Research Station, but I don't see what good that does me, to be honest. The Freighter Fleet would be nice, and the Chris Knife would be nice, but the Persuasion itself is not going to have an effect, really. So probably better to save the water. Going to Great Flat would allow me to threaten Highliner again in the future, but I could do that just by going down on the shipping. So maybe I'm better off going smuggling, if that's available. Doesn't have the combo go off. Does buy the Chimerki though. Holtzman. Now that's what I'm looking for. So we smuggling to Holtzman if we can. And then maybe we just buy an SMF instead of the directorship. I think the directorship's too good at this stage in the game to do that. So let's grab a liaison. Recall. Definitely want Spice here. Flagship is tempting, but Holtzman is what we're looking for. And then for our bump here, we're going to get the guild with directorship. So why not set up on Emperor, question mark? Unfortunately, we're wasting all these daggers. I guess I could deploy a troop with Mapes, which at this rate, I mean, if it puts me ahead of Romber, I probably should do it. 2 water is quite useful. This row does not play around. I mean, Sadakar Infantry is a crazily good card. I mean, these other ones are crap, but like, Sadakar Infantry, Zui Mama. Okay, so let's go ahead and reveal. And yeah, I think we gotta take directorship here. Well, but Garni helps us get Spice Mist flows, right? You know what? We have 4 water. Who cares? We can get Spice Mist flows on our own. We don't need the directorship for that. Or we don't need Gurney for that, rather. 2 alliances, you know. Just take it. Is it time to trash the dagger? Oh, I don't know. Let's trash the experimentation. I think we're kind of in a spot where we can afford to do that. I don't want to trash the ring yet, because this deck actually does kind of use the ring. I think we're just crushing now. Well, Beast is at 6, and he's got enough for Highliner. So I wouldn't say we're crushing, but I think we're going to Holtzman gives me a convincing. Okay, so discard pile looks like this. So if we went to selective, for example, we could trash the directorship before having to draw it again. Obviously, we want to go to Research Station, but we don't have the city access. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that go to city in the discard pile, but we're never playing Kynes, so it's really like 3. Romber takes Great Flat, which definitely inclines us towards Research Station, but we don't actually have the ability to go there. So I think it's going to be either Mentat or Selective Breeding, although High Council is also good. We can Truthsayer to discard the Freighter Fleet, which is even better, actually. So yeah, we definitely want to go to selective. The spice cost is a little bit of a bummer, especially since we just lost Great Flat, but we'll be okay. Sonic Snoopers is not very expensive to trigger our machine culture. And we do have the bump on the Chris Knife, almost certainly. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Fremen cards in the discard pile of 7 cards. So we can probably steal Fremen from Yuna. Sooner or later, anyway. Oh, should we go Interstellar? That might be more important. Yeah, that's probably more important. Because the game's not ending this round, right? So we just need to go ahead and play our experimentations. So, we could also just trash from discard. These cards are kind of important, so I think I would like to do that. Let's go ahead and trash the directorship. And now we're guaranteed some pretty useful effects from the Freighter Fleet. I understand why Romber went to Great Flat, but letting me have Interstellar is pretty bad for him. Okay, Beast of Secrets. Now he's back up to 7. He's got room to grow on Guild and Fremen, so he could definitely win. The problem is that he doesn't have a Swordmaster and it's round 6. Which at this point he's clearly not getting. Ooh, okay. Romber wants to fight on Guild. but not that much, apparently, in the combat. I guess because Beast's garrison is empty and he doesn't think I'm going to beat him. Now, Yuna could steal the selective from me, but she does not. Takes that count. So let's go ahead and do this. So first we want to trash. Although all these cards are pretty good. Well, the least good of them is Signet Ring. Even though it's a city card, we're going to have to get rid of it. Then we drop the Freighter Fleet. So do we recall here? I think we still want to go up. I think we still want to try to get the third tech from Machine Culture. I don't know that we're going to get that Holtzman point, because we didn't draw the reflexes or the kinds. Well, we'll get there if we can get to Research Station. But there's two people that stand to block that. One, two, three, four, five. That's not really a real card, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards from our starting deck are gone. The only cards remaining are this Experimentation, this Convincing, and this Diplomacy. So what do we think about playing Contaminator instead? Like, let's say somebody blocks Research Station. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's a pretty good backup. It's just that well, so if we play Contaminator, we really want to play it to Hardy, because that's the thing that's going to give us a staged incident if we don't win the combat. Remember, we're already getting a water back when we reveal the Chris Knife. Robert a Dreadnought. Now, he can just straight deploy that if he wants to. He chooses to draw instead. Okay. Is there an argument that Hardy is better than Research Station? I don't think it is. Well, we don't have a choice. Obviously, with a Holtzman, you want to get Spice Miss Flows. We may be able to get 2 Spice Miss Flows next round, though. Kinds plus Reflexes plus a Research Station. It's quite possible. Okay, so Hardy on Contaminator, right? Or we could actually Mentat here. Yeah, let's Mentat. Because Reflexes gives us what we need. Like, Reflexes gives us the SMF, right? Very much worth the 2 Solari cost. 8 to beat and the combat. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. But maybe. I mean, basically we put troops in, and if Romber beats us, then we stage. No big deal. Yuna should get a... No, she doesn't. I'm the only one that's done anything with research, really. So she's not getting much out of her dissecting kit. Although this is a fairly easy point that they should be able to get. But the fact that none of them have an intrigue card from it yet is probably hurting them quite a bit. Now, Gurney is interesting because he may come up next round. shifting. Okay, so we're going to Contaminator here with reflexes. Steel Hillblades. Kynes up to 14. At least I'll get to 17. Wow, one short. We didn't. Well, we did trigger coordination because we went Mentat. Yeah, that's right. And right now we're beating Romber on daggers, but we also have the Mapes ability to flex in or out depending on what we want to do. Like, I could just use Mapes to flex a troop out. 18. Why am I at 18? Said I was at 17. I don't have a chair dog. Well, if I buy 2 SMFs, I just end the game in round 6. So that's what I'm doing. Trashes the diplomacy for fun. No diplomacy allowed. We don't have the texts, but it's okay. So, did I actually have that much persuasion? Because I don't know that I did. It says I had 18, but I don't... It said 17 earlier. Why did it adjust right when I hit the reveal button? I don't have a mnemic film. Or a chair dog. Well, it turns out that Hardy Warriors may have been better than Research Station anyway, although we had to know that we needed to go to Mentat to get there. We'll end this game with 5 water, which is kind of funny. If we stage, do we still win the combat? Pretty sure we don't. That costs us 6, so we would go down to tying Romber. No reason to do that. Poor Romber. Wow, this is the first... I haven't had a round 6 victory in quite a while. It's true that Armand is a late game leader, but he can also just be a rush leader if you get the right cards. Wow. Okay. Combat, 3 alliances. All friendships. 2 SMFs. Holtzman engine. Collect track progress. Crazy that I got a Holtzman engine to go off in round 6, by the way. Yeah, Kynes is broken. So let's do the math. Did I actually have 18 persuasion? Is this like a mistrial? I am curious about that. So if we look at the log, sorry, I'm like trying to find the right menu. Okay, if we look at the log, it says I had 18. I didn't have a high council seat, so I have, in terms of the pure cards I revealed, this is 1. I'm not on tech negotiation. This is 1, 0, but we'll call it 2 because Kynes. So 3. Okay, so 5. Okay, plus 3, 8. Okay. Plus 2 is 10. Okay. Plus 3 is 13. So 13 in hand. So in order to get to 18, we would have had to have basically more like, so it has to be Fremen cards that were in play basically, and we played Contaminator. So if we look at that, we know Contaminator is gonna. So what was this again? This was like 13, I think. 1, 3, 5, 8, 10, 13. So we're at 13. So Contaminator is 15. Okay. So we had the Contaminator in play. I think we had a liaison on Mentat. which I count 17. I think the game bugged. I guess I'll have to go back and watch the footage, but I don't think it's possible for us to... Why did it say we had 18? Well, I mean, regardless, we were going to win this game. Like, we just crushed these guys. But, like... I don't know. I mean, if we only buy one SMF, I think we still win this round, right? Because we would go to 11 on the combat. But I'll have to go back and look because this looks like maybe a bug report. Alright, well, hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll go ahead and go to the in-game screen so you guys can see that in fact this was a ranked game and that I wasn't hanging out playing karate against children. There you go. Yeah, see? Rank dropped a lot because I resign a lot of games at work when I'm bored if I have a customer come in. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed.